Good morning, dear kids. Today we are going to start lesson number 5, Alice in Wonderland. This is a story from a famous novel, Alice's Adventure in Wonderland, written by Lewis Carroll. This story is called as fantasy adventure. Now, what is fantasy adventure? When an adventure story takes place in an imaginary land with magical creatures. You may have watched the movies like Jungle Book and Harry Potter. These are also examples of fantasy adventure. This story is about a girl, Alice, and she stuck an imaginary place where she found lots of weird creatures, weird things. So, now let's get to know what happened with the Alice. Okay, this is the story of a little girl called Alice who falls through a hole in the ground. She lands in a strange place. What happens next? Alice was sitting with her sister on the river bank. She was tired of doing nothing. Once or twice she peeped into the book her sister was reading. The book had no pictures or conversation in it. What is the use of a book without pictures or conversation? Thought Alice. So now Alice was sitting idle with her sister at the river bank. River bank means edge of the river. And she was feeling tired and bored. And just to break monotony, she peeped. Peeped means look quickly into something. So she peeped into her sister's books, but she became disappointed as there was no pictures and conversation in the book which her sister was reading. Next, suddenly a white rabbit with the pink eyes ran close by her. The rabbit seemed worried. It said to itself, oh dear, I shall be late." It took a watch out of its waistcoat pocket, looked at it, and then hurried on. So, when Alice was getting bored, she saw a rabbit, and it was in rush. Rabbit was in rush, and it was talking to himself that hurry up, I'm late. And he took out his watch from his waistcoat from checking the time. Here, waistcoat means a short sleeveless jacket. Okay, now move ahead. Alice jumped to her feet. She had never before seen a rabbit with either a waistcoat pocket or a watch to take out of it. She ran across Rabbit Hole under some bushes. So now, after watching all those things, she was surprised. She had never ever seen a talking rabbit like this, and having watched all things seems interesting to Alice. She stood up and began to run after the rabbit. Then rabbit went in a large hole in bushes. Bushes means woody stems, branches out close the ground. Now come to the next page. The next moment, down went Alice after the rabbit. She never once thought how she would get out again. The rabbit hole went straight on like a tunnel for some distance and then dropped down so suddenly that Alice found herself falling down a very deep well. So, as soon as rabbit entered into the hole, he fell into deep pit, and Alice also fell after the rabbit without even thinking how she will come out. Initially, it seems like a tunnel to her. Here, tunnels means long passage under the earth. And Alice felt that she keeps on falling down like in deep well. Now read further. Either the well was very deep or she fell very slowly, for she had plenty of time to look about her and to wonder what was going to happen next. As she went down, she looked at the sides of the well and noticed that they were filled with cupboards and bookshelves. Here and there she saw maps and pictures hang upon pegs. So, now while falling down into tunnel, Alice felt that she is falling into tunnel very slow, and even she felt that she has enough time to look around her. And now what will happen next? She noticed many cupboards and bookshelves installed into wall while falling down. Moreover, maps and pictures were also hang upon the pegs. So here pegs means small hooks used to hang things on wall. Now read further. She took down a jar from one of the shelves as she passed by it. It was labeled orange marmalade, but to her great disappointment, it was empty. She managed to put it into of the cupboards as she fell past it. Okay, now while falling down, her intention was caught on a jar. It was labeled as orange marmalade. Marmalade means a preserve made from citric fruits and peels of orange. But that jar was empty. For that, she felt disappointed and she managed herself to put the jar back. And here, she landed in a long hall on a heap of dry leaves. There were doors all around the hall. So, now Alice landed on dry leaves, the heap of leaves, and she noticed that there are many doors all around her in a hall. Now come to the next page. In the center, there was solid glass table on which lay a tiny gold key. Alice soon found that the key fitted into the smallest of the door. The door opened onto the loveliest garden you ever saw. Now, when Alice reached in a hall, she saw a tiny gold key on glass table, and very soon she found that the key fitted in door, and she opened the door and saw a beautiful garden which anyone would have ever seen before. Now, however, she could not even get her head through the doorway. She took the key back to the table, and there she saw a little bottle with the words "Drink me" on it. So, as the door was so tiny that even her head could not fit in the door, so she put the tiny key back on the table and noticed a bottle labeled "Drink me." Now move ahead. "I will," said Alice. By the time she had finished the sweet tasting mixture, she was small enough to get through the door. Afterwards, she decided to pick up the key. Alas, no matter how hard she tried, she could not climb up the slippery leg of the table to reach the key. So now Alice decided to drink that thing which is in the bottle, and she drank the sweet mixture, and now as soon as she drank that mixture, she became small enough to go out that tiny door. But now she is too small to get the key from the table, and she tried hard, all in vain. But all things are useless. Now from here, the poor little girl was so tired that she began to cry. Then, through her tears, she spied a tiny piece of cake in the glass box with the words "Eat me" on it. "I will," said Alice, and as soon as she ate the cake, she found herself shooting upward until her head touched the roof. After a while, the white rabbit appeared, at the sight of her. He dropped his fan, gloves, and scurried away. So now Alice did lots of hard work to get the key, but all efforts are failed and she started crying. And while she was crying, she noticed a piece of cake in a box labeled "Eat me." And as Alice had that cake, her size increases a lot. And after some time, the same rabbit came over there and he dropped its fan and gloves and ran after, dropping the things. Here, scurried means ran away. Now, dear, dear, how very strange everything is today, Alice said. Picking up the fan, I'm getting smaller again. I wonder when I will be the right size. Now, Alice is wondering how everything is too strange today. Strange means different from usual. And Alice picked up that fan that rabbit dropped and her size began to reduce again. And now she wonders when she will get her right size. Okay kids, got it? That's all about the story. And you have to also read the story, Alice in Wonderland. So it's enough for today. Have a nice day.